Today I finally perfected and published to the web the official Zapetroid website. Now I had one originally, um, and it was kind of just a regular old run-of-the-mill website, but I decided to purchase a domain and make a site and pretty much update all of my information on any other site and just like kind of combine them all together and make this big network of Zapetroid. And I posted the news to Facebook and to Twitter, and I got a lot of people, liking everything and just showing general support. I even started making, well, not really making, but I ordered a bunch of wristbands for Zapetroid. And if you want one, they're actually totally free. That's one thing I love about being my own manager with my music, is that I get to decide what prices to set for anything, and so far everything's been totally free. I want people to listen to my music and have a good time, and I don't think that that should involve money in any way, shape, or form until, by some miracle, I'm discovered publicly. So, with the advent of the website coming out, I kind of, I got a lot of positive response from friends, and one person mentioned that I've been at this for a really long time, and it's really what am I trying to say here? It's kind of eye-opening, actually, that he mentioned this, because I kind of have, and I never really thought about it, because it's just kind of been a part of my life. But I kind of want to talk a little bit about that for anybody who may be interested, about like the creation of Zapetroid and how things have gone. Pretty much how I got into music in general. When I was very, very young, I had a few different interests in music. Gumnut, I won't talk about because it's kind of dumb. But basically, I was very, very young with Gumnut, and it was mostly MIDI recording, so I wasn't really doing much. I had somebody to help me, and he chose to remain nameless for the sake of this video. I asked if I could talk about it, and he decided that he didn't want to spoil the fun, so I'm not going to name him. But I did have somebody help me record that. I think I might have spoken about him in the past, but just for now, I'm not going to mention his name or his affiliation to me whatsoever. After Gumnut, my sister and my sister Sam, we didn't really have any interest in music together per se, but when my mom started dating her boyfriend, whom she's been with for a very, very long time, actually, he had two kids as well, two girls, and my sister and those two girls and I, we all became very tight-knit friends, and they would visit very often after my mom's boyfriend had moved in with us, and we would hang out, just do a bunch of random stuff, but, through some dumb story that I'm not going to tell because it's really dumb. That's from my autobiography, out in 20 years. We ended up forming what would be my first real band. And we didn't do any recording, really, or anything like that. We did some tape cassette stuff, and I recorded some demos of my own to show to them. But as the years went on, everybody except for my sister and me, i.e., my mom's boyfriend's kids, they stopped showing any interest in the band. And that band was called the Sheep Gang. I know that sounds kind of dumb, but there's a specific reason why. It's because any songs that we ever made... I got a text message. Any songs we ever made had to do in some way, shape, or form with sheep. Like the animal. Not people who are ignorant to worldviews. Not those kinds of sheep. Anyway, um, I ended up putting the Sheep Gang on hold and terminated it, with the consent of my sister at the time. After I met a man by the name of Jonathan Herr, um, who I knew as Figgy. That was his nickname to me and pretty much to everybody. And everybody that I introduced him to after that, I introduced him as Figgy, and he sort of became just generally known by that name. Um, we became very, very close, and we actually, that at one point, he told me just out of the blue that I was his best friend, and that was the first time that I'd ever heard that from another human being. So it meant a lot to me, and I felt exactly the same way. Today, Matt and Figgy is on a hiatus, I suppose. I'm not going to say that it's over, because even though I don't talk to Figgy nearly as much as I used to, we are still friends, I suppose. And there was never any sort of strain between us. We never fought or anything like that. He went to college. I moved out of my mom's and started living here with my girlfriend Amber, and pretty much doing everything from here instead. So we were on two very different planes by that point in my life after high school. Um, but yeah, we started a band together called Matt and Figgy. Guess which one I was? And that was like it was a really good experience in my life, and it still is anytime I think about it, because I can still go back and listen to all of the songs that we had written together. That was one thing about Matt and Figgy that I really liked, was that everything was very collaborative. In the early stages of Matt and Figgy, um, we were in high school, and it was very hard to kind of work together, I guess you could say, because we had classes and homework, and anytime that the two of us were together outside of school, it was mostly just like trying to be friends rather than work on the music, because we weren't really able to hang out any other time. Music kind of came second to our friendship, which is, I suppose, how it should be. Music is the thing that brings us together, but our friendship is what ends up conquering. Um, Figgy and I, we did a lot of recording, and it was from him that I really learned how to, you know, appreciate music more. At the time, the only bands that I really listened to were the Beatles and Lemon Demon. I'll get back to Lemon Demon. Um, but at the time, I was huge into the Beatles. I still am. I still am huge into the Beatles. Um, and anybody who knows me will tell you that. They are one of my biggest musical inspirations. But again, with Lemon Demon, like I said, get back to that. I guess I'll just mention it now. Lemon Demon was the driving influence behind me finally deciding that I wanted to be a musician. I didn't want to just sit around and listen to music and try to make music like with the Sheep Gang and with Gumnut, and partially with Matt and Figgy. I'm not I mean like halfway through Matt and Figgy. By that point, I decided I want to be a musician, and Lemon Demon is comprised of one person, only one, Neil Ciceriga. He's a huge inspiration for me because it was up until that point that I just thought that if you wanted to be an artist, you had to have people behind you to help you record and people there to help you write your songs. And mainstream media at the time, because I grew up in the late 90s and new millennium, kind of taught you that if you wanted to be a solo artist, you had 4 people writing your songs and 3 people producing them, and you were just the one guy in the middle, or girl, who just sang, and you didn't really do anything else. And I didn't want to be like that. And when I discovered that that wasn't how it had to be, I took every opportunity to do that, to become a musician, fully self-sufficient, all by myself. So halfway through Matt and Figgy, at that point, because Matt and Figgy had 2 incarnations, we actually did kind of break up after 2 years, and then we got back together 2 years after that. And like I said, we're still together. We're just kind of on a hiatus. So after 1 year of Matt and Figgy, things kind of started to go south a little bit, and I didn't want to stop making music, and I wasn't going to let that hold me back. You know, the fact that things started going sour with Matt and Figgy. So I was a member of at the time of the Lemon Demon forum because like I said, I loved Lemon Demon, and my username was Zapetroid, and that was taken as a reference to Neil Ciceriga's first musical project before Lemon Demon, Trapezoid. Um, Not really else much to say. Now I don't even think of Zapetroid as a spoonerism of Trapezoid. I feel like it's my own thing now. It's been so long, and as far as I'm concerned, Trapezoid ended up changing its name to Deporitaz in the future anyway to avoid legal issues with another band named Trapezoid. So, I have Zapetroid, and Zapetroid is my rock, you know? Or my synth pop, if you prefer. I don't think I do rock very well. But I used that, and I decided I still want to do music. I don't want to give up just because I'm working with someone else and things are going down the tubes. You know, what have other people in actual mainstream media done in the past? Well, the Beatles ended up breaking up, and that didn't stop them from continuing on. And all four of them created more wonderful music that I still listen to. You know, I followed all of their lives, and I wanted to continue with my own. So, in 2007, this is about a year after Matt and Figgy first started, I announced to the Lemon Demon forum in the thread that was dedicated to users of the forum who made their own music and wanted to show it off, that I was going to be starting my own solo musical project, and I was going to be using my username as my alias, Zapetroid. I didn't get a whole lot of, way to go, man, you do it, because, you know, whatever. Who am I? I'm just a guy. Nobody, really. But I kept at it. And that year, toward the end of the year, which I think it was like October or so of 2007, I spent the whole summer working on songs that I had just come up with off the top of my head. And many of them were very crude and only had one instrument and me singing. And that was really it. There was even one song in there that I wanted to be experimental, like the Beatles were with Revolution 9. And I took my cell phone at the time. I don't even remember exactly what kind of phone it was. It's probably cataloged somewhere in my journals. But I just took it and I went through all the ringtones and I played them for the microphone. And it picked it up, and I called that a song, 900 megahertz cordless phone. Whatever. I released my second album, Repetition. My first album was called Pointless, and I titled it that because I thought it would be pointless to try and think of a name for an album that I didn't think was going to take off. And to be completely honest, it didn't take off. But after that album, I started working on a second one called Repetition, and I kind of clued all my friends in at the time to the knowledge that I had a musical project and that I was a musician. And a lot of them actually showed some interest. I was particularly my friends Julian Cairns, John Calderon, and someone who actually financed my album, one of my friends, Charles Piazza. He didn't finance it by a whole lot. Those are my messages. Don't check anything. If you heard that. He didn't give me a lot of money. He gave me $20 to go toward a new keyboard. And the two of us went together to, I think it was Guitar Center here on Long Island. And even with the $20 added to the money I already had, we couldn't find a suitable keyboard that I would be using for my next album. So I ended up using the keyboard that I used in my first album. However, when I gave him the $20 back, he refused to take it and said, use it for something else. So I took the $20 and I purchased a jaw harp, a recorder, and a tin whistle, all from eBay with my mom's help. And that's when things really kind of started to take off. I didn't end up using them for quite some time because I was still very inexperienced. But it was important to me to experiment and have more instruments. I was inspired by Neil because he had an accordion and used it in a lot of his Lemon Demon songs. Well, not a lot, but some of his Lemon Demon songs. So I, for Christmas that year, asked my Aunt Catherine to get me an accordion. And she thought I was kind of nuts because what teenager wants an accordion I'm pretty sure it was Christmas. It was either Christmas or my birthday. I'm gonna go with Christmas because my birthday's in February, so they're about the same time. But generally, as a gift, what teenager wants an accordion? And I grew up in the sort of family that was kind of like, you have to be normal. You know, they were always pretty much accepting of my quirks and the fact that I was definitely different. I mean, look at my hair. But it was kind of like, are you sure you don't want like a game or some CDs or something? No, I want an accordion. So my aunt bought me an accordion. My friends were really supportive during the recording of Repetition. And after Repetition came out was when I met and fell in love with and started dating Abby. I won't talk about her at length because she has her own life, but she was a huge inspiration for a lot of my music after Repetition came out. And when I started my third album, The Mystery Machine, I immediately wrote a song about her and stuck it in at the last minute because I wanted the world to know that I cared about her. Mystery Machine came out February 2008, around my birthday. And from there, album production started getting longer because I started putting more work into everything. So my fourth album, His Indifferent Paradox's Request, came out, I think, just later that year. But Moron's Requiem, the next album, didn't come out until like a year and a half after that. And then Triple Vision, the album after that, didn't come out for quite some time. Until, I think it was like 2012 that came out. I think. And 2014, the Zapetroid came out. The album Zapetroid. I self-titled my seventh album. And you know what? It's really been a journey. It has been such a long time. And I've done a lot of things to sort of try to spread my music around. I posted in the news section of the new website that I'm going to be trying to join the open mic scene to try and get my music out there. Like I said, I ordered wristbands, so if anybody wants one to sort of spread the word and help me get my music out there, that would be super awesome. It's totally free. Wear it anytime. Make me happy. When I was in high school, toward the end of high school, 11th and 12th grade, after the first Matt and Figgy debacle, every Friday I would perform some Zapetroid songs for the students in the chorus. Every Friday morning, second period, they had Solo Friday, where it was kind of a showcase of people's talents, and anybody who wanted to participate could come down to the chorus room and just sing or perform to your heart's content. And that's the first time I really performed as Zapetroid. I held a few concerts for my friends to try and raise money to go to California to visit Abby over the years, and my friends were super supportive of that as well, and I got a lot of money from them. Really, Zapetroid wouldn't be anywhere without a lot of my friends. So I want to give shout-outs to Santi Pinto, Cara Galata, Charles Piazza, Julian Kerins, John Calderon. And on the newer side also, my newer group of friends. Chris Link, Brian Downey, Beans Schmid, Sean Ninos, Dustin Bruckner, Joe Conti, Lisa Bergman, Caroline Levac, Brooke Puttick, and my lovely girlfriend Amber Cordero, as well as any of the other girls who've ever given me inspiration to write songs about them, like Ellie Fector, Carrie Mathias, Sarah Caston, Liz McCrelly, Catherine Weston. You guys are all wonderful. It has really been a journey, and I hope to continue doing music for a long, long time. Honestly, I didn't really think it would last this long. I thought it was going to be another one of those projects where, as a kid, I was just kind of like, let's see how this goes, and then get bored of it after like 5 minutes or something. But it is 8 years later, and I'm still doing music under the same name. I don't plan on changing my image anytime soon, changing the type of music that I write. It's been an endeavor, but at the same time, it's been super awesome. So I think that's really it. So I'm Matt Breslov, Zapetroid. Thanks so much for watching this, and I hope that you're having a great day.